Hey there, everybody. Thanks for joining me for another one-man review. I am back with another review of another Penthouse Comics magazine, which I never thought I'd say, but Brandon told me how good the Penthouse Comics new issue, the volume, like the new series that they're putting out, how good issue 1 was. I got that and really enjoyed it. So I'm sold now, and now I'm buying Penthouse Comics. And never thought I would say that, but Tori likes to poke fun at me for it. She edited the first one, so I read the second one in front of her, and she was poking fun at me the whole time. But she actually really liked this cover by Marguerite Sauvage. Most of the stories in this are a follow-up on the stories that were in Volume 1, except for this first story, I believe, is Part 1. Yeah, but everything else is Part 2. So there's a lot of stories in here that are coming out piecemeal. I'm assuming they'll probably also be released like as graphic novels on their own at some point. If Penthouse has the rights to that, that would be interesting. So I just wanted to show and give a flavor of what this all is, because it was very surprising to me. There is nudity and sexuality in here, but not in the way that the Penthouse comics in the 90s were, where they were just like over the top grotesque parody and really explicit. So this first one's by J.D. Morvan, German Aramusti, and Mauro Vargas. I don't know who does what, but this is called The Dead All Have the Same Skin, and it's about a guy who's a bouncer who's of mixed race. There seemed to be like a real theme throughout all of these stories about people being of mixed race. It seems like a very politically conscious book, which is again a strange thing to say for Penthouse Comics, but this story is about someone of mixed race. The next story, which is also by J.D. Morvan and Ray McCulty and Raphael Ortiz, called I Spit on Your Grave. This is also about someone of mixed race. This is the second chapter of a story that was in the first volume. So this character here, Lee Anderson, he's the son of a mixed race mom. Obviously, he looks like this big, handsome, blonde hair, blue-eyed guy, but he's coming back into town to avenge his lynched brother. And while he's there, he's kind of ingratiating himself to the youth crowd and banging all these girls and stuff. Not really sure where that goes, but really, really like the art in here. The coloring's really good. The third story is also a follow-up, chapter 2. This is called Miss October by Stephen Desberg and Alan Quiru. We have this gal here, Victor Scott, who's a deaf cat burglar, and she's like kind of having some interactions with this detective Clegg, who is after a serial killer that kills women and poses them in, this is kind of funny, he's posing them to be Playboy Playmate spreads, and they even talk about he's posing them as Playboy spreads in the Penthouse magazine, so that's funny. But I'm not quite sure how all that's going to play out yet, who's the serial killer and whatnot. One funny little production thing here that I don't know how this happened, but I've seen things like this happen. Luckily, we caught something like this in one of our books, I think, but where the text is down, just a funny little production error. Easy for that to happen. The real, I think, stunner in the first 2 issues of this is the story The Dream, illustrated by Guillaume March, drawn by Jean Dufault. Guillaume March, I really enjoyed his Laura and Other stories, and I'm going to blank on the name of the other one, but The Dead Girl Who Came Back. Really, really enjoyed those works he's done. I know he's done some stuff in the Batman universe as well. Like, you could see this is a pretty good Selena Kyle. Like, that's how he would draw her. But I really love his work. And when Brandon was telling me that he was in the first issue, that was the reason that really sent me over the top. Same thing in this. There's just some amazing sequences drawn by Guillaume March in this. I want to come back to this opening page here. You can see this beautiful drawing of this houseboat here. Really, really cool story. and that you've got this like woman who's like working her way into like maybe a cult or something. I'm not quite sure exactly what's going on in this story yet, to be honest. But there's this big, I don't want to show up, but there's this big painting mural behind this couch here that looks like demonic. So I think she's getting herself into a world that it's called the Strange. You'll see she and Paykip get along well as partners. She'll be able to bring you out your best even if at first glance. So I think she's going in to like record a porno with this gal whose name is The Strange, but and I think they're going to get involved with this like demonic mural in the background, but I'm not sure yet. The art's phenomenal all the way throughout. You can see this beautiful like watercolor rendering all throughout. Really nice to see physical materials, no computer coloring. The next story is a continuation of probably the most entertaining story in the first one. This is by Jeff as the artist and Steve D as the writer. This one's called Gun Crazy, and it's the origin of Super White Man. We've got this dude that is like taking pills or something to make himself a superhero, and he's obviously a white supremacist, Nazi, Ku Klux Klan member. That's what this whole chapter is about. But the first chapter is about these two gals, one who's black and one who's Hispanic, who paint themselves up to look white, and they go into a strip club and they sweat off their makeup, and they're stripping for white supremacists, and then they realize they've been getting turned on by women of color. They go nuts and the women kill them. So I'm pretty sure that we're building up to a confrontation, even though we don't really see those characters in this one. And if you read this one just on its own, it seems like a celebration of Super White Man. We're just getting the origin of a villain, I'm pretty sure, in this one, with his shitty little Hitler mustache and everything. So kind of over the top. But again, you can see like this theme of like we have two stories with mixed race characters in them. By the same writers, so maybe that writers of mixed race, I don't know. But then we have this one here where we have these women of color. They're gonna fight this super racist guy. We have the like deaf woman having like a disability. So it's a strangely like political set of characters for a book that's being put out by a like legacy porn magazine. And then also in the back of all of these, same as the first issue, you have like a little softcore porno magazine photo shoot where the girl like slowly removes more and more clothes with each photo. At least this one looks more contemporary to me with the lighting, and the girl's like more gothy, and she's like got more hips and ass and not got fake boobs and all this stuff, whereas the other one was very much like 90s fake boobs. But I don't know, man, like I'm not buying this for the porno. I'm buying it for the comics and the art, which I know sounds like, I'm buying it for the articles, but really seriously, like I don't really want this in the book. I'd like to have the book, without that, but whatever. They're also showing what's coming next, and then they are showing, yes, that these are like actual books that are out as well, it looks like, even though they're going to be releasing them in the magazine, I think, I'm not sure. Or maybe these are just graphic novels that they're selling that won't be in the book. Not really sure there, but it looks like a good series of products that they've got the rights to. So I'm pretty stoked about what Penthouse is doing with comics. And yeah, that's a strange thing for me to say, but it looks like they've got some money at least. And I know people were saying that the rumor was people were getting like $800 a page or something back in the 90s. So I'm hoping these artists are really cashing in, and it would be nice to see someone with money who really wants to put out some good comics. I'm just, sad that it always has to be attached to erotica, but whatever. And then if further evidence that there's like a political message behind this magazine, you have Josh Whedon on the back saying equality is not a concept. It's not something we should be striving for. It's a necessity. So a strange mix when you put it in Penthouse, but they're up to something and it's producing cool work. So I'm on board for now.